Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's council meeting. Would you please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call the meeting to order and open the roll call.
Goodell.
Here.
Slater.
Here.
Scholl.
Here.
Rusher.
Here.
Davis.
Here. Then we need a motion to approve the agenda as printed.
So approve.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We need a motion to approve the minutes of the February 18th, 2014 regular council meeting. Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Then we need a motion to approve the treasurer's monthly investment report and the February treasurer's report. Questions?
I move we approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Then we need a motion to approve the claims for February. Questions from anybody on that? Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Under communications, anything from the public in attendance this evening? If not, we'll move on to our first public hearing. This being the time and place for the scheduled public hearing on the proposed fiscal year 2014-2015 budget, I will open the public hearing at 5:33 p.m. Aaron?
I just wanted to, I guess, highlight, obviously, we've been, during the work session, we talked about the seal coating project. I think that's probably the most significant change that's in this year's budget. All other things being held equal, outside of the seal coating project, the levy actually would have went down. There's about $1.20, you probably know the exact number. It's about $1.20 increase in the city levy. The total seal coating project's about $1.53, easy for me to say. But we were able to hold that down to about $1.20 overall increase due to finding some savings in the trust and agency levy and spending down a little bit of fund balance that would accumulate over time in that account. So I think that project will probably be one of the largest changes that we have with that increase in debt service. Other than that, obviously we've got significant expenditures with the bridge project. Some of that cost is already being borne this year, and then we'll have some costs in the out year, or in the FY15 year. And that's about, like I said, 2.3, and we're dealing with that contract actually at this meeting. Outside of that, most of the balances were pretty normal. The capital projects were, replacement of vehicles, things like that. We've got, there was 2 small increases in the sanitation fund that are contained within the budget, and those are, we're gonna have some higher tipping fees at the landfill due to switching over to a weight rather than a volume. And so that'll help cover some of those increased costs. And then we've also have the 50 cent increase on the garbage side. And honestly, that's just to keep up with the costs. Over time, we haven't increased that account in many years. So just to cover some of the increased costs that the city's experiencing with sanitation collection. So I think that kind of covers some of the high points, I guess, rather than going through everything. Is there anything specifically you guys want to cover, Gloria?
Nope, we pretty much have it covered.
I guess the one other thing, the recycling truck, that's probably the biggest single vehicle purchase. That's almost $200,000 for that. And so replacing that, we have almost all the vehicles are on a 13-year or less replacement cycle to make sure that nothing's aging out and we don't have the funds for it. So everything's staggered a little bit. So that's why every year, you have a scooter truck or a recycling truck or things like that. You try and split those out and cover those costs over time rather than having a one-year expenditure of 200,000. This was budgeted for with some set-asides that have been in the sanitation fund. So while it is a $200,000 expenditure, it was budgeted for us and taken care of in multiple years. So that's all I've got on it.
The only thing I would add is our total revenues budgeted for fiscal year 2015 would be $12,633,686, and the total expenditures and transfers out $13,366,420. So using down a little bit more fund balance in some of the accounts, and the total levy is $17.44 per thousand.
Do we have any written comments or objections on file?
No, we don't.
Do we have any comments or objections from the general public in attendance this evening? There being no more comments or objections on the proposed 2014-2015 budget, I will close the public hearing at 5:37 p.m. Move on to our next public hearing. This being the time and place for the scheduled public hearing on the matter of the proposed issuance of not to exceed $685,000 in general obligation refunding capital loan notes, Series 2014A of the City of Humboldt, State of Iowa. I will open the public hearing at 5:33 p.m. Karen.
The public hearing is regarding the issuance of debts for the refunding the old tax increment financing debt issuance. This refunding is of callable debt, will save the city approximately somewhere between $44,000 and $45,000, depending on where interest rates are at that point. And it's just that $44,000 is just the interest payments over the life of the debt. There's not a whole lot of years left on that, but I think we were paying a significantly higher interest rate on the debt than what we're paying now. I mean, we're getting absolutely dirt cheap money compared to what we were getting several years ago. And so the savings will be applied to the end of that bond. So the amount of money we're paying on it will stay the same. It'll just be the last year will be a little bit lighter than what it was previously.
Any comments from the council? Are there any written comments or objections on file?
No.
Are there any comments or objections from the general public in attendance this evening? There being no more comments or objections on the proposed issuance of not to exceed $685,000 in general obligation refunding capital loan notes, Series 2014A of the City of Humboldt, State of Iowa, will close the public hearing at 5:35 p.m. This being the time and place for our next public hearing on the matter of the proposed issuance of not to exceed $1,200,000 in general obligation capital loan notes, Series 2012A of the City of Humboldt, State of Iowa, public hearing at 5:35 p.m. Aaron.
And this issuance is on the new debt for the Seal Coat project included in the FY15 budget. The project would be bid for work after July 1 of this year, and will contribute approximately $1.52 to the debt service levy for the next 5 years. Obviously, it's 5-year time span due to the lifespan of the work being fairly short, so you don't want to have that amortized over a long period of time, otherwise you're paying for something that's already died. So, again, interest rates are very, 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 very good interest rates right now.
Any comments from the council? Do we have any written comments or objections on file? Laura?
No, we don't.
Do we have any comments or objections from the general public in attendance this evening? There being no more comments or objections on the proposed issuance of not to exceed $1,200,000 in general obligation capital loan notes, Series 2014A of the City of Humboldt, State of Iowa, I will hold the public hearing at 5:40 p.m. Under new business, update on 605 Summer Avenue, Sisters Homestyle Entrees renovation. Jim Davis.
I have a sheet if you guys want to follow along with me. If you want to just pass those around the table, okay? first I have to say to the city council, I want to say thanks for giving me this opportunity. I know that there was other people that really was interested in this building, and I just wanted to say thanks, okay? And the other thing, before we get with numbers, most of you have come through the new store, so you've kind of seen hands-on. And if you haven't, walk through the front doors and ask the girls, hey, I'd like to see the new building, okay? Because we really like to show it off, because we feel that we've done a really good job, really have. When we first bid it off, we said that we had to do $57,000 of improvements. Well, when you get into an old building, surprise, a lot more. When we first went in and just did some cleanup, it was $795. The floor cover, $12,950. When we did the electric, that was way over what we bid, because when we got in there, there's some old wires in there. There was, quote unquote,
Amateur work.
well, it was a surprise. It was even a surprise to Dietrich, because we were dealing not with just one panel, we had 22 different panels. So that price was way over, but it's all cleaned up. He has one more visit to come back to finish a few little things, but we're on track where we need to be. Plumbing, we had to put a new bathroom in. We had to put in air conditioning, so that just cost a little bit
You
more.
replaced all the pipes.
And we replaced all the drains and the pipes. Then the repairing and the painting, that was way over of what we thought it would be. When they started to take out walls, behind the walls, there was some, hey, wow. So we dealt with that. The roof, we agreed that we would do the roof. Well, by the time we got into the fall, they really couldn't do anything. It got way too cold. So we have them scheduled to come back in April, and then they're going to adjust, see what we need to do, and we'll go forward with that. Office supplies, we just put that in because we all got new desks. They got new desks. I shouldn't say me, because I still don't have a new desk. But, so it ended up to be $79,386.32. And then we add the dollar, because we bought the building for $1. Okay?
Throw in the dollar.
And the dollar. But honestly, I really hope that, this just was, I think, a big eye-opener. We took an older building and we turned it into absolutely a working building. And, you know, I really like the downtown. I really, really do. The downtown has so many different things to offer. So I just want to thank you. And anyone have any questions?
Is the building working well for you now that you got it? and
It
everything
really
stuff?
is, it really is. The office space, the upstairs, and it's not all done either. I have to say that, okay, because we have 2 offices. We're in the process of hiring 3 more people, another office person, and 2 more workers in our other building. And so there's 2 more spaces where we can make offices. So we're hiring another part-timer, and then this summer, one of our students that are going off to college, they are going to be coming down to our new building and work in the office. And I'm gonna get 2 more interns. We have 1 intern now, and we're gonna have 2 more interns. So we have space for everybody to work. So it's really worked really great. Really has.
And it's allowed our labor force to expand.
It really has. We're at 33 employees now. So it's really, really done great.
And growing.
Yep,
Awesome.
it is. Any other questions?
Congratulations.
Done a
Yeah.
nice job. Nice job.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay,
Appreciate it.
all right, thank you.
Any other buildings they need?
Yeah, Brad, go ahead.
Sure. What do you got?
Another dollar.
Yeah.
Alrighty, discuss snow removal ticket system. I think you all, Aaron had sent out some notes and stuff on that, and the problems we've got now with trying to get people to clean the snow, and how the ticket system works and doesn't, or I should say lack of how it works, and what we need to do to change it and stuff. So I guess Aaron kind of highlight us on what we need to do here to fix this problem.
Well, the current system requires a lot of I guess I would refer to it as administrative busy work. The system requires the city provide extensive notice to the property and then subsequently assess the cost of mowing or moving snow to the property after completing the work. The other opportunity we would have is to take them to court, wait a few months for a court date for a snow removal issue, and then by that point, probably the snow's melted away, or, you know, a goat has come along and mowed the grass. I mean, some of these properties, it really is, it's quite, it's a very arduous task to get through all the paperwork and to get to the point where you feel comfortable with actually doing the work. And so, the flip side of that is, you know, when we get to that point, normally it's damaging to the city's equipment. You know, we've bent just chewed up blades trying to mow these, you know, 3-foot yards because you'll find out that there's, you know, animals and trash and who knows whatever else is underneath there when you go through. So the guys actually, it's not as simple as, oh, just take the mower and run down there. We actually have special blades that we put on when we go through and mow those properties, because you never know what you're going to run into when you're trying to mow that stuff down. And so
That's expensive too.
Yeah.
Change of blades.
yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of messing around. And so, you know, I've been kind of wrestling with this for a while, trying to figure out a way to make this better. And I'm not going to say that a ticket system where you're assessing a $50 ticket to somebody because they have, you know, they need to move the snow or they need to mow their yard or whatever is going to be without its problems, because you're going to have the argument of, well, the ticket blew away or whatever, and it's, you know, there's going to be problems no matter what. But to me, this seems to be a bit more functional. The officers, when they see something, can actually immediately address it, rather than, you know, I drive around, write down an address, you know, we send out a letter, 3 days later, the letter is received, we're confirmed that they've received it, and then, you know, we can start trying to push them on making sure that it gets taken care of, and then I have to send the parks department down to actually go mow it or push the snow. And it's just, you know, and in the end, they're paying a cost that's actually not that expensive. You know, we're just billing them for what our cost is, which actually, you know, is fairly, it's not cheap.